What is going on, people of the internet? It is I, British Hawk, or Rambling Hawk, whichever you want. And with me, as always, is my co-host, Retro Geek Old Man Zen. How's it going, Zen?
Yeah, pretty good, man. It feels like Friday, but it's not.
Yeah, I've been getting that a lot today. Everyone coming up to me going, fuck, I just want to go home. It's like, it just feels like Friday. Why the fuck isn't it Friday? It's just like, because it's Thursday. It's like, even I've been like, a couple of times today, I've just been like, what fucking day is it? Is it Friday or is it Thursday? It's just like, no, it's Thursday. I'm like, fucking, this is annoying.
Well, I think for Sydney, it's been raining all week, and today's been the first sunny day, so it kind of feels different.
Yeah, same. For the past 2 or 3 days, it's basically gotten overcast more and more and more to the point where it's just thunder, lightning, and then heaps of rain. But today it just wasn't that. It was just clearing up. It was nice and warm.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that was where the Friday feeling came in. It's sort of just like, but yeah, it was just wasn't. It's
Well,
it's the worst feeling. You feel like you sort of lose. You've gained a day at work.
well, I had a good friend of mine, Christy, popped over today with her boyfriend, and he's from like I forget exactly where, like East Germany or something. So somewhere cold and grey in Europe, and
Okay, that could be many
it could be many,
places.
exactly. I'm really getting it wrong here, but I often get it wrong. And like last time I caught up with him, with her and him, we went to just a typical pub and we had a pub meal, and that was freaking him out. Just like how you order your beers here, but then you had to go over there to order your food, and it was just so
Okay,
funny
but
just
that
watching
that
him
does
in the
that
pub.
does seem wrong though. It's just,
So he's definitely
oh,
not from London, because that would he he's definitely not from London. He's from somewhere more remote. Um, but just sitting in my backyard today, we were sat in the backyard. It was such a nice day, and there was a family of magpies out there, and they're feeding the baby, and you could just see him tripping out over that. And then a pair of rainbow lorikeets came right up to us and started begging for food, and he just kept saying, "It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy," and he just couldn't believe that there were these two parrots. Like he was just tripping out, and it was pretty cute to watch, actually.
on some days I'll look outside the window upstairs and I'll see on the power line
Mm,
sometimes like a row of parrots, and
mm.
it's sometimes it's not just your multicolored parrots. It's one of sometimes it's those mohawk parrots or something like that.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty cool. It's like
yeah, it's cool, right? Yeah,
there's sometimes you'll
nature.
just, yeah, it's just like, maybe they won't be there that day, or maybe it'll just be a different variety of bird. It's pretty cool.
Well, I don't think he was expecting it, and then for them to feed off your hand, kind of thing, it was spinning him out. But I thought that was pretty cool. So again, it just added to the. He brought over a 6 pack of Canadian Club, so been
Ooh,
drinking all afternoon, and again, just feels like Friday.
yeah.
But dude, so today we didn't really have a set topic, but you sort of suggested let's talk about games.
Well, yeah, but that in itself,
It's a very broad topic.
yeah, it's a very broad topic because there's so many. It's like there's a lot to talk about in it. And what
Mm,
I was wanting to talk about was because last week I watched a video on the decline in games, and I thought that was pretty interesting. The video itself, I got over because I felt like he was just repeating his point, but what he was saying essentially in the video was quite interesting. That, what we consider acceptable and what we sort of let them get away with nowadays is becoming a bit of a decline.
in
Now,
comparison to what though? I mean, I've been playing games my whole life, and games
he,
are
he
more
was.
amazing than ever.
I think it's more to do with the fact that, when games back in like the PS2 era, when it come out, it'd be pretty solid. It'd be a solid
Oh,
game. You
you
wouldn't
mean
have
like bugs and
yeah, you
crashes
wouldn't
and
have your
shit?
patch notices and
Yeah,
everything
right,
like that. But
right,
also primarily like DLC. A lot of games
right.
nowadays are like getting chopped up and then resold to the customer,
Ah, right.
and
I get you. He
and
was
and
doing a
and and
political
also
video.
also loot boxes and everything like that,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
in some countries, including England itself, it's actually being regulated as gambling.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like that, wouldn't you say that's with anything though? Like, it's just as easy in the car scene, for example, for someone to say the decline of automobiles. like half the people who were really passionate about solid cars that they used to make would be like, oh, now now they're not even cars anymore. It's a fucking computer, and there's not even a handbrake anymore on modern cars, and there's like the every single modern car has a gear stick in a different place, or it doesn't have a gear stick at all. Um, it's just gotten ridiculous. Like someone that knows how to drive a car sometimes has to learn how to drive one of the new cars.
Yeah. Well, what I was
So
gonna
wouldn't you say it's probably a global technology thing that has affected games to a point where he's potentially looking at these things as a negative, but then you could probably look at them as a positive as well.
well, the thing where it came to like glitches and bugs and everything like
Mm,
that,
mm.
to me, it just depends on like how long they've actually been working on it, and because I don't know all the behind the scenes, because as much as we could say they should just have it working, it's like, well, I know it's not that simple. Like I've seen other systems, including like the ones we've used, and when you fix something, something else generally can break
How
because you
how did they
fix
do
that.
it with the old systems? Like if you had an old console and you bought a game and it was broken at release, you couldn't patch it, hey, or
No,
could you? No. So it would have had to have been, but then again, it was made for one solid platform and that's it. Whereas now he's probably talking more about PC games.
no, I think because if it's declining games, I imagine it's primarily console, since that's the wider audience
Well,
when it
wouldn't
comes
you
to
say if
gaming.
he's talking about bugs and shit, like that's more prevalent on online PC games where, yeah, I'm used to seeing patches on that shit.
Yeah, but I'd say since all the things he was showing were mainstream games, I'd say it's primarily he was talking about consoles. But again, he wasn't being
Yeah.
he wasn't being specific. He was just talking about games in general.
Yeah.
Because the thing is about PC is that you have a lot of small companies releasing games onto Steam, because
Exactly. Sure.
on console you have to go through Microsoft, you have to go through Sony to
Yep.
get these games out, which includes the patches as well. They have to be approved by the company that made the console before they can come out, which is generally why consoles are generally always behind when it comes to that sort of stuff. But with PC, it's just literally so easy, which is why you'll literally find so many games on Steam which are just just super buggy, early access,
Yep.
everything like that.
Yep. Oh, you find AAA games that are buggy as well. So I get what he's trying to say, but I get it. I think he's more talking about the decline of games as an overall cultural
I
thing,
think
as
he's more.
opposed to
I think he's more talking
specifics.
about the. No, I think he's talking about the decline in somewhat the quality of games, what we sort of expect.
I think the games are of better quality than ever. I mean, I don't want to go back to playing chess. If he fucking hates games so
It
much,
yeah, just
why doesn't he
no.
go back to
I
playing
think it just depends on what aspect you're looking at the quality. As in when you talk about bugs and glitches, that quality is what it means when it's being released.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's a major. I wouldn't say it's so bad that I would tell people that are
Yeah,
thinking
but
about playing
some people.
games to not bother and don't bother playing games. I reckon it's a very small percentage of people that have those issues.
Yeah, but some people do have those issues, and
Yeah,
still, yeah, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah.
But I think also the big issue is so microtransactions. I'm not. I'm if it microtransactions, if it's pay to win, I'm not for it at all,
Yeah, I
because
don't think
I
that
don't.
exists very much though. I don't, well, definitely not in any of the games that I play.
Yeah, not. But if it was like a case of, hey, if you want to spend $5 for this skin right here
Yeah,
that does absolutely nothing but just looks really cool, go
yeah,
for it. I'm like, yeah,
yeah.
that's your money. Yeah, sure, it's not a real thing, but it's like still your money though.
No, I think I think the general populace has would agree to that.
But I would prefer that it be also a thing where it's like, okay, you don't need to spend $5 to get it. You can just earn the points if you want
You
to.
can earn it. Yeah, yeah, I like that too. But no,
Well, I
the
prefer
shop's never bothered me, man.
I prefer that option to instead of going, you either pay $5 or you just don't get it. So, because to me,
Yeah,
that's a bit. I think that's a bit.
that was always big in Destiny. Like the entire Destiny community hates that the items that are in the shop. aren't earnable by putting time and effort into the game. And I think the simple fix would be to make it so that if you put the hard work in, you can actually earn it. Or if you don't want to put that hours in, you can pay for it in the shop. I think that's not pay to win. I think that's fine if it's just cosmetic shit.
Yeah, if it's cosmetic shit, it can't be really pay to win unless there's an added bonus
Yeah.
to it.
I mean, I wonder what the reasoning that Bungie has is like. What would the reasoning be for
Probably
them
because
to
it's a
not
free to
make
play
it?
game.
Well, why? Yeah, but make it so that it's hard to earn, which is fine. You know, people worked really fucking hard to earn certain titles and stuff in Destiny. So I don't see why it'd be a big issue to make it so that you can earn it in the game somehow, and then also have it in the shop.
Oh
I
yeah,
just,
no,
you know,
I definitely agree. You could make some
mm.
missions where it's like, you do this and you can earn this amount.
Like, you
You
know,
know,
when you and I have done some of those dungeons, and it was early on, right? Just say the first time we fucking passed that shit, like we would die so many fucking times until we finally passed it. And then when we finally passed it, we had a great feeling of elation. Like you,
but
Jason, and I would be like fucking so
we've
relieved that we actually finished the dungeon. But
we've
then we got
achieved
we got
something.
nothing, bro. We got nothing. Like it's just a shame that
Yeah,
you
but that
finish
was
something
all.
and get nothing.
Yeah, but that was always sort of like the fuck thing with like those sorts of games where you just sort of like do something and you're just like struggling, and then you come away from it and you just like I basically just got fuck all, and it's like
Yeah,
I had a great time, and
yeah.
that's what I'll try and take from it. But at the end, seriously, I didn't get anything,
No.
and it just feel it, and obviously you can't just go let's just do it again, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, the person who spends the money, like, don't get me wrong, I've done the same. I've spent real money, and I've spent a lot of money in Warframe.
I spent
Um,
enough money in SWOTOR.
there you go. And I've spent it on Warframe. I've spent it on Destiny, and I also spent money in Black Desert. And I can't even remember what I spent the money on, bro. Like, I don't even know if it was worth it or not. You know, so it wasn't a big deal, that's for sure. It was just some cosmetic shit.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, well, no, just microtransactions are obviously something that obviously people go are either completely against it
Hmm.
or, and obviously you'll have your spectrum of people who are just like us, we're okay with microtransactions if it's cosmetic, but if
Oh
it's
well,
like, but
I understand people taking political stances, but I don't particularly like the topic of politics. So if someone sits there and goes,
I wouldn't say it's political at all.
well, no, I'm saying if people are going to take a political stance and go, fuck it, I want to play that game really badly, but I'm not going to play it because it has microtransactions, then I'm not going to sit here and it's not a problem to me. So I'm like, well, that's
I
your loss, buddy. It's not my loss. Like, I respect you for not wanting to play it because you're taking a political stance against microtransactions. But hey, like, doesn't bother me that bad. So I'm still going to enjoy it or not. But like, I don't have that stance, and I understand how some people might, but more power to me and less power to them. The way I look at it, you know,
fair. Well,
it's like, well, your so many games that are good have microtransactions in them, and
oh, it
as a gamer, you're
depends.
missing out on these games, bro. Like, that's the way I look at it. It's like, if we had a group of friends, and just imagine it's not us, just imagine it's somebody else. Um, Four guys that have been playing together for all these years and having great conversations over Discord or whatever, and then one of them decides to go, oh, guys, I'm not playing that game that you're all going to play next month because it's got microtransactions in it. Then, I feel a little bit sad for that situation.
Yeah, but honestly, if that did happen, like realistically, the friends would turn around. Obviously, they wouldn't be like, "Okay, we'll abandon the game too," or "Oh, you're a fucking loser." They'd be like, "Okay, no problem, dude.
Oh no,
Like,
it's just the way it is. Yeah,
we'll catch you on like this game. Maybe
yeah,
change. Maybe you'll change your mind. I don't know."
yeah. I mean, that's why sometimes when you watch these gaming reviews and channels and stuff like that, they get so political that it's like, it's nitpicking, because sometimes it's like, it's just a fucking game. Like, they're talking about all the SJW shit going on in the fucking office place, or someone being overworked or underpaid. And it's like giving people more of a reason to not play the game because of all the shit going on behind the scenes. Whereas, you know, when I was a kid, I would just buy a game based on the cover, just like I would buy a novel as a kid. Just fucking, this game looks cool. I'll flip it over. Oh yeah, that looks fucking rad. I'll buy
Yeah,
this.
but that in itself is also another topic because it's essentially a case of it's not so much the fact that you might actually enjoy the game, but it's more to do with the fact that you're just like, look, we're not subscribing to this politics. Just
Mm,
leave it out of the games. Like that'll
mm,
be cool. And especially if they turn around, because this was the big thing with Battlefield 5,
mhm.
was that they were basically turning around and going, okay, if you don't like it, don't fucking buy the game. And everyone was like, well, fine, I won't. And they ended up losing like heaps of like Battlefield
Well,
1.
who's gonna hear them say that news though? That's the thing. Like most of the kids, like if you're young, it just
A lot of
depends.
no, a lot of
You,
people that's why they lost a massive amount of pre-orders because
yeah.
Battlefield 1 actually, the thing is with Battlefield 1, a lot of people complained about that, why aren't there women in it and everything like that, what
Oh yeah, fuck off.
inclusivity and everything like that, and everyone was like, cheering for DICE because they were basically like, no, we'll just make this immersive, not inclusive, because we want to respect the
Yeah.
history back then. But then with Battlefield 5, it was almost a complete 180. So, but
Mm,
Battlefield 1, because everyone was measuring obviously Battlefield and Call of Duty at the same time, with their pre-order sales, and Battlefield 1 was the first game to beat out Call of Duty's pre-order sales, and
mhm.
obviously, and with the next game, you'd assume that sort of go with the same trend, or at least it would balance out or something like that. But instead, they actually lost a lot of pre-orders to Call of Duty, like a lot.
Mm, mm. Well, I'm just looking. I've got a little list here. So, the latest news
Well,
that's sort of doing.
actually, to go back on, and it's related to your list. When we were talking about the quality of games, because I was saying that we're judging it on bugs and glitches and everything like that based on the amount of time that's actually spent on it. You could talk about Anthem. You could talk about what was that other game that they barely like.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just say Anthem because
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the same time, Anthem for what we bought it for at $4, it was still good bang for buck.
yeah. But what I'm saying is they had 7 years
Yeah,
to actually do to make that game,
yeah. But we all know
and
now through the media that they didn't spend all of those 7 years working on the
it was
game.
about 6.5 years of them sitting around going, "Hey, do you want
Exactly.
this? No,
So they did pretty
yes."
good considering they did that game in a year, and it could have been a lot better if they spent 7 years on it. Who knows where it would have gone? But I mean, look, there's another one on my list here, Marvel Avengers. So when they first
Ooh,
showed Marvel Avengers footage, it wasn't gameplay; it was rendered. And the first thing I thought was, "Oh God!" Like you can see them trying so hard to make these characters not look like the Hollywood actors that it just was fucked straight off the bat for me. And graphically, it just looked really cheap to me. And to me, it's like we're going to talk about the hype train. That's what I want to talk about with Cyberpunk. But I think even though I thought what they
we relate
showed
to
was
many games.
shit, like even though what they showed of Marvel Avengers was so shit to me, it's hilarious how the hype train still worked for so many other gamers out there to the point where when it came out, they were so disappointed in it. But I'm like, well, didn't you guys see the first thing they showed was pretty disappointing already? So hype train is, yeah, potentially pretty nasty in that people still got hyped over that game. And as soon as they started playing it, they're like, oh, fuck, this sucks. And then apparently now the latest news is no one's playing it. So the player base is so small
Yeah,
that you can't find players to play with.
they're desperately trying to make up content at the moment because the player
And that as
basis has
well.
just
I've read that
dropped.
as well. So like how savage is that? That like it's probably one of the biggest comic book movie franchises in the world,
Oh,
and to make something out of that such a disaster is it's pretty savage.
well, for me, because I saw the trailer for it and I just went, ugh. But that's
Exactly.
that. But that's
Exactly, me too.
but also,
I
well,
wasn't even half
when
interested in it.
no, when I looked at it, I immediately thought it's a kids game, and I thought of the old
Right.
I thought of like the Fantastic Four games from like the 2000s. Where you
Don't you think
basically,
graphically it looks like a phone game? Like it had
yeah,
a phone game feeling about it.
Yeah, I had that feel. I saw that too, but the main reason why I just went to it because I just fell out of like heroes and everything like that. I thought Marvel became like I think I oversaturated myself with hero everything. I was watching like The Flash. I'd watched all the Marvel movies. Like
It's
to
a
me
real
that
shame, though, isn't it? Because you and I both love comics and anime. It is a real shame, though, isn't it? Like we should be living in a time now where it's like all the stuff that all the comic books we read as a kid, and having all these superheroes in comics, and then now seeing them in a 3D game with an open world. Like, okay, this goes back to your decline of gaming, because it is a shame that you've got all this richness and all this history to draw on, but then if you release a shit game, it's like, what a waste. Like apparently there were heaps of shit Spider-Man games, right? Until
oh
like in history, there's been lots of really bad ones before the last couple, which are
yeah,
mind-blowingly amazing.
so there's been yeah, there's a history of a few bad Spider-Man games, and then
Hmm.
Spider-Man
Hmm.
2 came out, the movie-related one,
And then
which
the
which was just
PS4, yeah,
which which was just great
yeah, yep,
because of the web slinging and everything like that. I
the
played it.
movement, yeah.
I played it myself, and yeah, it was great. And yeah, the recent one,
Hmm.
it was an incredible game.
There you
It
go.
wasn't tied to the movies. It was tied
Hmm.
to the comic
But it
books.
was just done well. Like it was just like you could just see it was
It was graphic.
polished
It
and
was graphically beautiful. There was
exactly,
barely
exactly,
any bugs in it. The swinging
exactly.
felt really nice, and the fighting.
Yeah,
If you if you're a big fan of the Arkham games,
yeah. I
you'll
had that
enjoy
kind of
it.
system,
You'll enjoy it, but it wasn't one of those kinds of. If you enjoy the Arkham games, it's basically exactly like that. It's like no,
dude. It
it's
looks so much
sort
better than
it's
Marvel's Avengers.
it's it's sort of like the Arkham, but with a spy. But you'll feel like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah,
It achieved exactly what the Arkham series did. It made you feel like the superhero you were playing, because
yeah,
the Arkham series is what DC have, where you feel like Batman,
yeah, yeah. I get you. Yeah, I played
which
that on. I played
which
it.
is what I think was the key to those games' success. It actually made you feel like the hero.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just games done well. So yeah, maybe there is a bit of decline, and it's shocking how some of these humongous titles are coming out with huge issues. I mean, you wouldn't expect it from such big titles, I suppose.
Well, with the Arkham series in mind, Arkham Knight actually did have that issue. Remember, in with the PC, it came out so shockingly bad that they had
Right.
to
Okay.
literally pull it from the Steam store to then re-release it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fucking politics again. But with the Cyberpunk
Oh no,
news, it's
it's not an opinion. It's not like an opinionated thing. As in, like it was
no, it's
literally.
politics because there's a fucking deadline and they're stuck to it, and there's a release date, and if it's not ready, they still have to release it. That's political. I
I
mean,
would.
in the ideal perfect world, you would not release it until
No,
it's perfect.
no, I wouldn't call that political. I don't think that's the correct word. Like it's just a business thing. It's not political
Yeah, oh, that I wrap up. I mean, I've worked in so many businesses. It's
because
all politics, man. You
the
know,
no because the game that falled to that hard was actually Battlefield 4, because that game was literally
what about
that game.
Fallout 76?
Nah, to me,
Isn't
no,
that's got to be one of the worst released games of all time to date?
no. I'm talking about specifically when you're saying that they had to release it at a specific deadline.
Hmm.
EA wanted to release Battlefield 4 with the release of the PS4,
Mm,
and it
mm.
wasn't ready.
Yeah,
Massive netcode issues, but they went, no, you'll be releasing it with the
yeah,
PS4, because
yeah.
obviously when a new console comes out, there's very little games, so you'll flock to any game that you can get for the new console, and you got
Yeah,
Battlefield 4.
I use the word political because it's like, well, um,
It's the closest thing you can think of.
it's just the way I look at it. It's like, if I was the developer and I wanted to say this is not ready yet, well then, there's no option, there's no choice of backing out because it's a signed document and it's legal. Um, so it's, it doesn't matter how much heart you have at that point. It's just you have no option. So that's what's sad about it. But
I,
again, like with this cyberpunk
the
news,
set
is like you,
the sentiment sounds right, but the word just isn't like political. Because when you say political, I'm thinking like workplace relationships and everything like that. You have to be political. You're like not upsetting people and everything like that.
Mm.
But yeah, so yeah, I get the meaning behind it, but
Yeah.
going to Cyberpunk because obviously they delayed that
Yeah. So it's
till
interesting
to
to see.
December the 10th, and
Yeah, it's
what my
3 weeks, bro. It's 3 weeks. As if gamers are like, as
well
if
my
gamers who spend all day gaming. I mean, as if it's a fucking big deal whether it's 3 weeks or 3 months. It's
well,
like,
I'd like to preface this to anyone that's listening
mm,
with Cyberpunk because we're going to go on the hype. I imagine we're going to go on about the hype train.
yeah, sure.
I did not get on, nor did I get anywhere near the hype train. I pretty much I saw the game trailer and went, I will not approach this in any way. I don't want to know anything about it. Not because I'm not interested. I'm just like, I don't want to get on the hype train. I don't want to hear anything about this. But it was my friend this morning
Mm.
that was like, "Hey, have you heard about Cyberpunk?" And I was like, "No, not everything like that." And he was like, "Yeah, it's been delayed."
Yeah.
And
And
then
what
he was
was your
saying,
initial reaction to that?
"I was just like, okay, cool, I don't care."
Exactly. Exactly, right? Because we're not on the hype train.
Well,
Well, it helps.
it's just the fact that I'm not following the game at all.
Yeah,
But
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 exactly. So 3 weeks is no different to you.
the shocking part, and in fact, I'll actually start reading some of it. Some of what I actually put. Because he said that a lot of the devs are getting death threats. And
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck? And like, yeah, they're getting death threats because it's being pushed out a few weeks.
Yeah.
And and my reaction to that was that I wasn't surprised at all because I was just
Yeah, sadly.
it's
Don't
the
you think
internet.
sadly you're not surprised?
And apparently the devs said to the fans to like fucking grow up. And I was just like, I'm quoting now, the internet acting like grown-ups, question mark. Ha, would love to see that. And then the
Yeah.
internet has a lot of self-important assholes who overreact to any inconvenience because they know there is little to no consequence for doing so.
You know,
21 days is not bad. And then because apparently a lot of people overreacted because they scheduled and booked time off. And I was just like,
that's fucking ridiculous.
well, the thing is I was going to be like, I'd never do that, but I'm like, actually, I did do that last year for Kingdom Hearts 3. I took a week off because I'm like, I was hyped for the game,
Mm-hmm.
and I regret it. Not because of the game, I enjoyed the game, but I didn't play it like the entire time on the weekend. Like I played it like for like quite a few hours, but I honestly came back for work and I was just like, honestly, if I could have really chosen, I probably wouldn't have played the game. I probably would have just left and just gone somewhere for the week. And I was like, I just regret it so much. The weather was amazing. It was nice and hot and everything. And I had a whole week. I was just like, I just regret it. I just like if I were to take a week off, it'd never be for a game.
Don't you think? I actually, bringing it back to the first topic of the decline in games, I'd rather do a video on the decline of gamers. Like I just think once upon a time when I was a kid, I was pretty okay with saying that I love playing computer games, and now I'm just fucking. If I don't want to get lumped in with these cunts, I don't want to get
Yeah,
lumped in
but
with these
I
crazy guys that are sending death threats because the game's been delayed by 3 weeks. Like, how embarrassing! Like how
yeah, but
embarrassing!
that
And
right. Okay, so if you, I thought you were going to talk about the whole like them playing like pretty much 24/7. To that, I was going to say
no, just the
that's that
gamers on Reddit,
that
man. I've been on
that's been
Reddit.
around for
It's
like decades, and the whole like them sending death threats and everything. That's just an internet thing. Like people get that for just being cast as a certain character, for writing a certain book, for launching
yeah,
a certain TV show, for
that's sad. Yeah.
and yeah, that's the sad part. And as you said, it's pretty sad that my reaction was that's not surprising. It's like
Yeah.
I'm not okay with it, but it's just like that's just it's sad that today we're all like, yeah, everyone gets death threats. Like pretty much like,
Yeah.
are you really on the internet? Are you really noticeable on the internet if you're not like getting like death threats?
Well, I have to say with Cyberpunk and like, not many people are listening to our show. I mean, thank God it's not like we have like hundreds of thousands of reach with Cyberpunk fans, because I look at all the game footage that I've seen so far in the same light as I see Marvel Avengers, and I don't see a next gen I knew that the game was going to come out next month. I knew it was going to take some time to come out. So I don't see something that looks so spectacular and beautiful that I've never seen it. Like, I've seen enough footage of it now to accidentally look at the bits that I'm not meant to be looking at. Just say there's a bustling, busy city scene, and there's like, yeah, okay, there's heaps of people here. I can tell that they've rendered a whole lot of people in this scene. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm happy with that. There seems to be it seems to be a busy city, but then I'm looking at not the main character walking down the street. I'm looking at, oh, there's that girl with the fishnets and she's got a punky hairdo and she's walking a certain way. That's a very elaborate walk. And literally if I look to the left, there she is again. And then there's a guy in a white suit with a certain hat. And then I'm looking to the left and then, oh, there's another one. And I'm sure I'm not meant to be looking at that because you're meant to be looking at the main character in the center of the screen, but I could see the repetition straight away. So I'm already disappointed. And I look at the interior of a car, and when you're jumping into a car, you see the interior. I'm like, that doesn't look great. Like, the car doesn't look, the surfaces don't look real, and the lighting doesn't look great. And so I'm already disappointed, to be honest. And I love the cyberpunk genre. Like, I tried my best when I was younger to read William Gibson's cyberpunk novels, and it was just too complicated for me. But any kind of movie that's ever come out or anime that is cyberpunk, I've always loved it, especially from a stylistic point of view. So I'm already a little bit disappointed, and I hate
So
that. I hate that because they're trying to own the fucking name cyberpunk here, and
So yeah, you were obviously saying about the reach. Unfortunately, I can't relate to that because, like I said, since I haven't following it, I haven't looked at any gameplay or anything like
right,
that.
right, right, right,
I
right,
am pretty
right.
much at the thing of if I get the game
Mm,
and like it's not a guarantee, it's still like a 50-50 if anything. I
mm-hmm.
want to go in there with zero expectations, zero bias.
Sure.
In fact, I just want to go in there and be like, oh cool. I I don't know what to expect. I'm just going into it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like like when you find a game on Steam or you go to a game shop or like and you just happen to see a game and you pick it up and you go, oh, that looks fucking good. And you just turn it around and you're like, oh yeah, I like the look of that, and you buy it and you play it and you're like, fuck yeah, this is good. And you feel like you've just discovered a gem.
Yeah, that's really rare these days for me. But yeah, I get it. I get it. I mean, I think you're better off for not watching the hype. That's what I think.
So
I think you are better off.
I'd want something more like that. Like it's obviously not a guarantee. For all I know, it could be like a complete turd.
Hmm. Hmm.
But it's just like, yeah.
Well, there were scenes like I was playing The Witcher. When I first bought the PC, I bought The Witcher and played it in 4K. And I kid you not, man, there were so many times when the sun was going down where I would just stop there on my horse and just look around and take screen grabs. That's how beautiful some of it was to me. Um, just the towns in that. And I just thought it was beautiful. So, one thing that I haven't seen, and I've seen quite a fair bit of cyberpunk footage and part of this hype, I have not seen any moments where I thought it was worthy of pausing and taking a screen grab. I couldn't see the beauty in it. And what scares me the most, it's got that real single player vibe about it where you're talking to an NPC and then you go on your way to do the mission and you kind of hop in your car and you do this thing and then you've done it and then you go back in your car, you go back to the NPC that you first talked to.
Backtracking.
And yeah, and I just saw it and I saw this, like, I looked at it as like, that doesn't look that immersive to me. It looks like it's like a supreme pizza. There's a fucking heaps of topping on it, but the base is sloppy. It's kind of like that. That's a weird analogy, but that's kind of like it. Like the Witcher was just the cutscenes even in The Witcher was so cinematic and beautifully shot that the cutscenes in Cyberpunk is just flat. Like there's a guy across the table from you and he's smoking a cigarette and he's giving you the mission. And I'm like, the angles alone aren't cinematic, and that's why I'm really worried about the game. Like, not worried as in like, oh my god, fuck, I'm losing sleep about it, but
Yeah,
I'm a little bit like,
you'd have to wait for it to like be
I,
fully released and see the gameplay because they might have changed it up. That's the thing.
I think I'm gonna buy it because I still think I fucked up by not buying The Last of Us 2, considering The Last of Us had such an impact on me. I watched too much fucking hype, and then when it came out, I watched all these negative review videos, and it totally screwed it for me. Like, that game was made for me. Like, that game was, as a huge fan of the first, I should have not watched anything before or after the release. I should have bought it and decided for myself. And I was robbed. I robbed myself of it. So I'm really upset that I didn't play that game, considering I was hyped about it for over a year. So that really pisses me off.
The
So
the
in
only
this game, I'm just gonna buy it. I think I will just buy it. Um, but I have a really bad feeling that, a gut feeling that I'm not gonna, I'm not
So
gonna
I
love
can't I
it.
can't entirely think of one off the top of my head where I've been on the hype train and then I played it and I'm just like this is complete shit. The only the closest that I can relate to it was with Arkham Knight.
Mm.
I got
Mhm.
so hyped to that game because I loved the series. Arkham City was like is a great game.
Mm.
Um
I never played
and
that, but I
I
played Arkham Knight. But yeah.
so I played it and I just came away going, um just yeah, I'm not a big fan. Like I
Mm.
was like Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, and then obviously the Arkham Origins because that was just a complete shit game.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I was so disappointed with Arkham Knights. I was just there, but weirdly enough, when I played it again on PC,
Mhm.
I guess because I already had like such a low expectation of it because I already pretty much went, this is a pretty mediocre game.
Mm.
When I played it again on PC, I was just like, damn, this is actually a pretty good game. Like
Yeah, it was pretty
I'm
good.
actually really enjoying it because I had all the DLC. I pretty much from the get go switched out the Batsuit for the future, the future Batman one, future
Yeah, I know
Batman
the one you're
suit.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah.
because that outfit looks dope.
Yeah, it looks cool. Yeah. Yeah.
And I just played the game. And I was just like, this is like actually, I'm actually really enjoying this. And then I switched it up from being number 3 to number 2 because Arkham City is the best, clearly still. But it's just the whole like Mark Hamill, the Joker, literally just lingering around you, like talking all the time, and he'll just pop up randomly to talk to you. And I'm just like, oh, this is actually pretty good. Like I really enjoy this.
Oh, backtrack for a second. We mentioned Anthem for a split second, but we didn't talk about Anthem 2.0, which the news came out this morning, I think.
So with no, it's Anthem
No, no, no.
2.0.
They made a blog post this morning.
Yeah, they made a blog post
Hmm.
this
Hmm. With
morning.
a big update. A big update. Yeah.
Yeah.
They showed
Uh,
off skill trees and interfaces, interface design, shit like that.
oh no, no, their initial like blog about it specifically was quite a while ago because remember we
Yeah, yeah,
looked
yeah.
at
I
it and
know
we were
that. But this morning's blog post was juicy.
yeah. So yeah, yeah. So we got that this morning. Obviously we've seen that they've been remaking it for a while now.
Mm.
It definitely looks interesting. I'm not sure if I can't. What did you think about the UI? Because
Yeah,
at one
yeah.
point I was just like, yeah, it looks pretty cool, but at the same time I'm just like, it looks like I've seen that like a million times.
It's cheaper, badly worse design than Destiny, and that huge 45-degree angle thing they've got going in their interface.
Yeah,
They've had that all along. As a graphic designer, it's such a noob early thing to do when you're a junior designer, to do an interface like that. But in reality, no one does that because an angle for an interface takes way more room than just a straight line down. So I just see them suffering with that interface. And when I first saw it, I'm like, fuck, how old is your graphic designer? Is it fucking junior or what? Like, that is a new early era that designers
for
make.
me it was just a case of I saw it and I'm just like, this literally just looks like I've seen it a million times. I've seen it in like
Mm,
so many games. Like that skill tree where it looked like a web. I was just like that. I guess I imagine when you guys
Yeah,
made that,
yeah.
you probably sat back and went, "Fuck yeah, we that looks awesome. It looks amazing."
Complicated and yeah,
But
yeah,
but
yeah.
I sat there going, "That looks generic. I've seen that a billion times.
Look,
It's
look.
not cool at all."
I'm with you in that, like, if they dare to charge $5 for this update, then I'm out. Like,
It's not an update. It's a remake. That and
oh
I'm
well, fuck that then.
and
Fuck that then. Like,
what
honestly,
what I'm saying is, if they go, anybody that bought the game, here's the remake free of charge. Everybody
right,
else that didn't
right.
buy the game,
Yep,
you have to buy it.
yep.
That to me is perfectly fair.
I'll jump back in if it's
But
free. I will
but
jump back
if
in.
they go, we're going to charge you full price. It's like, no, you can shove it up your
No,
ass. I'm not
no
buying
fucking way. Hey, it just reminded me. Speaking of interfaces, what's that other game that you and I have been following for some time that
You'd
we were
have
thinking of getting into? It's kind of got like Division, Destiny kind of esque.
Outriders,
Outriders. Now that interface
February
looks
next year.
like a little bit like some others, but it's got, to me, as a graphic designer at least, or ex graphic designer, retired, I like the style of it. I like the
You're not
typography, the
retired. You're
layout,
still making some graphics.
a little bit, only for myself, but I appreciate tight design, and that's why. That's part of the reasons why I like Destiny, is because they've got great typography and great layout and stuff on their screens and shit. But Outriders, when I saw the gameplay, I liked it, but then when I saw like the character screen, I actually liked the game even more. I'm like, ooh, okay, this doesn't look too bad.
See, I was looking at the gameplay and I was enjoying it. I can't remember
Mm,
which class it was, but it was I'm pretty sure it was the dude that was like using like either time or space or something like that.
mm,
And I was just
mm.
like, that seems like the character for me. I was just like, that just seems because as you and Jace and a few others of you point out that I'm generally the guy that just runs in and
Runs
rushes.
in. Yeah, and the thing is, Jace, for someone like Jace who likes to snipe and stuff in games, it has the Division cover base. Like, that's one thing that I hated about Mass Effect, which I just played a couple of months ago.
See, I
Very
enjoyed that
very
game.
late to the party, but I hated their cover system in that you just had to run up to something and it automatically sort of took cover, and it wasn't a button press in
See,
order
at
to
one point,
get to cover.
see. I think when I played that game, I didn't bother with the cover.
Of course you didn't. That's not your style. It's not your gameplay style.
I no, when you were literally playing it, when I was playing it again because I did the new plus, I literally
Oh,
all I do was jump up in the air, hover with my
yeah.
shotgun, and just shoot the shit out of
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And that
yeah,
shotgun was like it was pretty OP.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah,
just demolishing everyone.
yeah. No, that game surprised me in the end. Like, I still, love hate. I liked bits of it and I hated bits
See,
of it.
I'm not gonna say like I was a fan of the game, but I enjoyed the game, and I was like, cool, this is a good stepping stone. Like this is a good first step to a potentially good series.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I think what you've done is some of the ugly groundwork,
Yeah,
and now you
yeah,
can sort of like make something a lot better, expand on this. But then when
yeah.
they just all of a sudden it was just like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. It's just like it seems like you're just giving up before you actually really give it a go.
Well, I also feel like because I played it so late that they had sorted out quite a lot of the issues that they had at launch with like awkward facial animations and stuff. And I had so many Nexus mods on it. Like, all my characters were naked and stuff, and
Yes,
it just made it
I
funny,
saw, yeah.
Yeah, but it just made it's like, again, that's why anyone. I'm so glad at the same time that we don't have thousands or hundreds of thousands of listeners, because I still don't consider console gamers true gamers. I just feel like, man, if you really love games, then like playing Mass Effect on a console versus the modified version that I got to play, uh, just doesn't compare. Like, I just, even like trying to play Fallout 4
See,
on a console, the
uh,
loading times are like 3 minutes, and I'm like, what are you gonna do? Like, go up and how many coffees can you make while you're playing this game today? Like, it's too long. Like, the loading screens are too long on
see,
console.
I'd have to disagree. If it came to mobile games, then no, I don't consider them mobile.
Yeah,
But I'd say I primarily consider console players casuals. Not,
yeah,
and
man,
I don't
it's
think they could
so bad.
ever reach the level of PC how hardcore they go. But I
Like
think that
some guys have YouTube channels that are humongous in Destiny, and they play on console, and it's like they've got that 30 FPS going, and it's like, oh,
watching a slideshow.
yeah, but they're so hardcore and good at PvP, like PvP on 30 FPS, and they can't adjust their field of view. So if someone's sitting right next to you, you couldn't tell there's a person
Oh,
there.
honestly, that was like something because when I started playing Zero Horizon Dawn, the
Oh yeah,
default the
Horizon Zero,
default
yeah.
the default field of vision, I fucking hated it so much.
Yeah,
I
right. But
me
you can adjust it, right?
now, yeah, as soon as I got the chance, I was like, options. I pumped it all the way up. I'm like,
I wonder if you
that's
could do that on a console or not. Probably
no, you
not, you
can't.
know.
No, you
I don't
can't.
remember. I don't remember that I could, yeah. I
No,
mean,
because
that's
you
the
can't.
thing. That's the thing. It's like I I am with you with the more casual thing, but if you were spending as much hours as I do on games, like 1,800 hours in a division, but you did it all on PlayStation, then I'm like, bro, just get a PC. Like if you're sinking in that kind of hours, like if
Oh yeah,
you're,
if you want to put it,
like, yeah, like 1,000 hours. I'd say that's probably the line in the sand for me. The line in the sand is if you spend over 1,000 hours per game that you buy, like Monster Hunter or The Division or Destiny, then do it on a PC. You know, a lot of the people that I talk to about that, they're like face to face. They're like, "Oh yeah, but all my friends play on PlayStation." I'm just like, "Fucking get new friends." Like seriously, like,
easier said than done.
or you go get a PC, maybe you can convince them to get one as well. It's just like, it's just next level, man. Like I'm still new to PC in comparison to you guys, but I could never go back. Like I just can't.
How long do you think I've been on the PC?
I just figured that you've been on it forever.
Oh God, no! I've been on it for like let's say 7 years.
Okay, not crazy long. I think I've been on it for 4 years.
No,
Yeah, but
I
you,
got.
you can't go back, right? Like I have
Oh
on my
God,
list
no!
here.
I've literally gone to like old games that I was
Mm,
like
hmm.
really proficient in when and I was literally like using the controller. I'm like, um,
It's not even the controller; it's just the load times
no, I
and
just
the
no,
frame rate.
no, I was just playing the games and I was just like, yeah, but that's the thing though. I was literally playing the games. And I was just like, doesn't feel like I'm playing a game. I just like, I just can't feel like I'm playing it unless
You're
I'm
not
using the key,
connected. You're not
unless
connected.
I'm
It's
using
the
a
F.
keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, but the frame rate, even if you do use a keyboard and a mouse on a PlayStation, it's still the frame rate that, like, the 60 FPS makes you feel more connected to your movements when you swivel left and right. It doesn't have that lagginess and that kind of lack of smoothness. Like, um, I don't know. I just can't go back, and I never would go
Oh,
back. Like,
neither can I.
I'm just not interested. Like, um,
Neither can I. That's why when some people have come up to me and gone, "Hey, you buying the PS5?" I'm like, "Fuck no!" Like,
yeah. So good segue, because I think a lot of the videos that I was watching about the PS5 when it came out, um, everyone's complaining about how fucking big it is and how thick it is on certain corners, and they've got this slinky sort of curvy design to try to make it visually look smaller, but in actual fact, it's
yeah,
pretty chunky.
so is the Xbox though. That thing's
Right. I like that.
yeah,
It kind of looks more PC like, right? That
yeah,
box
but
kind of thing.
that's what the consoles are essentially trying to do. Though they're trying to
Yeah.
become PCs
Yeah.
now. Yeah, but yeah, but as to go back, when people obviously went, "Hey, you buying a PS5?" I'm like, "Fuck no." They were like, "Oh, so you're getting an Xbox?" I was like, "Fuck no." And they're just like, "Oh, what? So you're not getting any consoles?" And I was like, "No,
no.
I'm not paying thousands of dollars to get a media box." And they're like, "What are you talking about, media? Like you
How
can
much
play."
are they, by the way? I
Can
didn't.
play. They were like, you can play games on them. I'm just like,
Mm,
okay, my PS4 at the moment, I barely play games on it. In fact, I haven't played games on it for like probably since last year.
yeah, same.
I pretty much just
God
turn
of
it
War.
on. I pretty much just turn it on, put on Netflix or Anime Lab, and
Have you
that's
heard
it.
how fucking loud the fan is too on the PS4? You've heard it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course.
So
I've got one.
apparently they fixed that. The PS5 has some serious cooling. It's meant to run really quiet.
That's something I hated. It was just like
How
turn.
loud was that
It was
fucking
like turn it
fan?
on. It was like a natural.
Like a hairdryer.
Oh no, like a jet engine. There's so many
It
times I
just
was
did
just
not
like,
sound good.
so many times I was just like, is this gonna, like, the one I jokingly always said, is this thing gonna take off? And two, I was like, is this thing gonna explode in a minute?
Yeah, it just felt like it was
It
gonna
was
burn
going
up,
that
right?
hard.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
like, I've seen PCs do that before, and when
yeah.
they
Sure,
do that, there's
sure,
always smoke.
sure. My PC fucking burnt up. There you go. I burnt my motherboard.
Yeah.
So it happened, and
Like
I could see the fire, flames, and fucking smoke and
like
everything. I
my
could
my
smell it.
PC is more like more powerful than the console.
Easy.
That thing you cannot hear. The
Mm,
fan, you cannot hear the fans or anything like that from it. That's how good it is. Yet that thing, which probably has better fans and more fans than that thing, goes so hard. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. That's right. That's right. It's just not comparable. I get it if you've never had a PC before, and you're sitting there on Reddit and on the forums and shit, and you're
Okay, and
like,
just a disclaimer: when
mm,
we're saying PC, I don't mean a laptop.
no. I'm talking about like just say proper PC, right? Like but I just think like I see a lot of people on console on Reddit defending console in front of PC guys. I'm like, please guys, don't even try. Like, don't even try. It just makes you look stupid. Like for people to somehow try to argue that consoles are better.
Look,
Stop it.
yeah,
Stop it. Please
look,
just stop it. You guys all look really stupid.
yeah, look. It's okay to accept that PCs are better than console because it is a fact. But
It is a fact.
I'm honestly not going to turn around. What if you say, "Hey, if I'm like, hey, I'm what's your Steam name?" And you're just like, "What are you talking about Steam name? I play console." I'm not going to be like, "Oh, can you go over there? I don't want to talk to you anymore."
No,
I'd be like, "Oh,
no.
okay." I'd be like, "Oh, okay, cool. What kind of game do you play?" I'm not going to be.
No, I'm not going to rub it in. I'm
I'm
not
not
going to
going
rub it
to.
in.
There's nothing to rub in. What I'm trying to say is I'm not going to shun you or something. I'm just be like, okay, well,
I
what
think
kind of
that's what
game?
I'm doing though. I'm shunning them. But hey,
If
it's like fucking. I'm a prick like that.
if anything, I'd be like, oh, yeah. Did you like the new Spider-Man game? What did you think of God of War? I played those games. I pretty much, I kind of enjoyed them. So
Mm,
instead of going like into a thing where
concession.
I'd be like, oh, okay, well, then I am of a superior race. I'd be like, oh, okay, well,
I'd be
let's
like,
talk.
oh yeah, those are good games, but they'd be even better on the PC.
Oh yeah, no, I agree, I'd be pretty much just be like, let's talk about something common because I'm not going to talk about Armor 3, while you're
Mm,
just like scratching your head going, Armor 3, because
yeah.
that's a game that can never be uh, put on console because it's
Mm.
extremely powerful and because the amount of controls that are like a controller cannot actually have that many controls on it.
Uh, I wanted to talk about Genshin Impact too, because Genshin Impact is a free to download right now, sort of open world game that a lot of people are comparing to Zelda. And to me personally, Zelda and Nintendo has always been a more cutesy kind of platform with cutesy graphics. And a lot of it, in my opinion, is it's cutesy because they don't have the power to do what a PC can. So I've always thought, okay, it's a less powerful machine,
I
so
thought it was
let's keep
always
it blocky and cutesy and colorful. And that's the way I've always looked at Nintendo anyway. Like I've always been more of a Sega guy because the games were more 3D and crazy, and Nintendo at that time was still more platform side on. And graphics have gotten so good on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, but when I look at Nintendo games, they still look like low res.
see
Um,
with Nintendo nowadays.
mm,
Like in fact, just like with like especially when the PS2 era, so where you're talking about the original DS, which actually I still have mine, is I
yeah,
thought they just more conceded to the fact that we're more for children and
that's what
family
I mean.
based stuff. Like, you
Cutesy
had
kind of.
Wii Sports and everything like that. You didn't have like
It's not violent, right? There's no like
yeah.
hardcore shooters or
Yeah,
zombie games and
you
shit.
didn't, yeah, you had like your Call of Duties and everything like that, but they were just sort of there. But
Mm,
primarily, if you got a Wii or a Connect or whatever
mhm.
it's called, or a DS and everything like that, you'd be getting like Pokemon or
That's what I mean.
Mario
That's what I
or
mean. Yeah,
Zelda.
yeah, yeah. Whereas playing Genshin Impact, so I downloaded it. Took fucking forever. Took like a whole day and a half to download, but their servers must have been jam packed with people trying
See,
to
I was
download it.
going to install it, but then
Mhm.
when I was looking at the gameplay, I mean, I kind of did like the look of it. Like, it did
It's
look
very
cute.
nice, man. Like that's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
When I started playing it, I'm like, I've been waiting. It feels like I've been waiting for years for a game that looks like an anime, like
Oh, I
that looks so
that
much like a cartoon that
yeah. Well,
that when I started playing it, I'm like, wow, this shit's fucking polished. Like it's really pretty.
like the problem I had, because when you guys were talking about it, I'm like, oh,
Mm.
cool, that game sounds cool because we can all get into it, we can all play multiplayer. But then
Mm.
when I was looking at the videos, it was all single player. That's why I was just like,
It's
oh,
it's not.
I
It's
don't. I
it's
was like, oh, I don't want to get this. I was just like,
yeah.
eh.
It's single player until a certain level, but I didn't even make it to the first town. So the game doesn't even start until you get to the first town. But like my main character looked like she was 13, and the little character that hangs out with your main character looks like she's 5. And add to that the cutesiness of like sort of sexy outfits, semi-sexy,
Oh,
that
that
whole
doesn't
Japanese.
sound.
That's right. And I just had those pedo vibes, man. Like I just had, like I'm not paying at anyone who fucking loves it. People are super into it. Like it's taken off like crazy, and the player base is humongous, massive success. People doing YouTube videos left, right, and center, dedicating channels to it now. Um, I get it in terms of technicality. It's awesome. It's very smooth. The gameplay looks sort of like it reminds me of Black Desert, but a childish version of it. Like if Black Desert was a PC game, then this is the Nintendo
Nintendo, yeah.
version, and that's what it kind of reminds me of. But the cutesiness of it, I'm fucking 45 years old. I'm like fucking retro geek gamer zen. So I'm like playing this, and I'm like, if I had a daughter and she was playing it, I'd be like, sweet, you're just killing mushrooms and shit. All
Let's
good,
play
you
this
know?
together.
Right. But I would I would feel uncomfortable playing it for like to get super into it. Like I just think it's a bit too cutesy for me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't mean to offend anyone. It's just yeah, like I said, I didn't even make it to the first town. It was just too cute for me.
Well, the only game I've really gotten into is Phasmophobia, and that's like blown.
Yeah.
That's kind of blown up.
Yeah, you've been this is what Mates are for. Like you've asked me more than a few times when am I gonna buy it. So that's what Mates are for, right? Like you kind of, egg each other on so that you can play together. So
I've been
I get
playing with
that.
Bedroom Eyes Joker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it sounds like you guys are having fun in it too,
Fuck yeah.
So I get it that it's like more fun when you're playing with your mates. It's that kind of game. I get that. But I hate horror shit in general. Like
It's just like the shared fear and the fact that you're not like,
I don't
unless
like
like
that. I don't like that.
unless someone's gonna get like super like upset about it, you're just like sort of poking fun of each other for it. You're like, oh, you just shit your pants like that.
That's the thing. Like, if I get on there, you guys would like scare me a lot, and I don't. I scare really easily. Like, I can't even. I'm the kind of guy,
Oh,
right?
if you're expecting us to like make sounds and everything, we don't do that only because it's like there actually are.
Enough
It,
sounds in it. Yeah.
no, it's the
No.
fact that the certain sounds are actually like important enough so that
Right.
going like making a knocking noise is just like, okay, is the ghost near? Is it hunting and everything like that? You need to sort of like, but at the same time, you're just like literally um when you need to get sometimes the ghost to show itself,
Hmm.
and you'll just be standing there saying its name, calling it a bitch, a cunt, and everything, and you'll literally just be like, everyone's surrounding it, just going, "Get out here, you cunt!" And it's just like
It sounds like a
these
really
are.
childish game too. Like it sounds hilarious, and I've seen a bit of footage, and people are like giggling like schoolgirls. Like it's funny, but
Oh well, the funny thing is that Joker and I were playing yesterday with Sapphire and Reaver, um, and it was the ghost was it was a phantom, and it was actually a child ghost. It scared the shit out of me when at one point it just appeared and started going towards me.
hmm.
Um, at one point I closed the door to scare the shit out of him, but when I closed the door, it perfectly in line with the fact that it was hunting, and obviously Joker had to run away because he didn't have a torch either, so he's pretty scared.
Dude, the last time I saw a horror movie in a cinema was when I was in high school. So that's a fucking long time ago. Okay, we're talking in like,
I don't watch horror
you know,
movies.
but I saw Chucky in George Street cinemas in the city. And the only reason why I saw it was because we were jigging a day of school and we managed to convince a few girls to come with us. So we got out of our school uniform because we're smart like that. And we got out of school uniform, jigged a day of school, hopped a bus into the city, and we're at the cinemas and like, what do we watch? I'm like, oh, let's watch this. Nah, let's watch this. Nah, let's watch Chucky. I'm like, oh my God. And I was shitting my pants. And I'm trying to be a bloke here. I'm trying to be like trying to pick up one of these girls. And for the whole movie, I kid you not, I watched the exit sign at the bottom left corner of the screen for the exit doors, emergency exit doors. Like I just watched that green exit sign and I didn't watch the entire film.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm not good with horror.
See, with horror, it's to me, it's just a case of if I'm watching a movie, I'm not interested in being scared, and also it's just so shit. Anyways, because it's just like
It's the fucking sounds and shit though. It's
to
fucking
me,
jump
to me,
scares and shit. I
to
don't
me, it's
need that
just
crap.
to me, it's just like the logic and shit. Because I remember my sister showed me a thing of like, I think it was called, I think it was The Exorcist or something. No, it wasn't The
Yeah,
Exorcist. It
that
was
was scared me when I was a kid.
no, she didn't show me the film. She showed me this scene from like I can't remember which film it was though. And basically, the dude was just stuck in a wall at one point, and he just went, "Oh, it sends you back to hell," and that was it. And I was just like, "What the fuck was that?" And she was like, "Oh, he exorcised the ghost." I'm like, "That's not how it works." I'm just like, "That's just shit."
Oh man.
And she's
Yes.
like, "Oh, yeah, well, it's just a movie, and it's pretty good." I'm just like, "I don't know." It was like, "That's pretty crap."
Hmm. I've got another bullet point here, but I don't even want to talk about it. It's like Xbox buys Bethesda. I don't care, man. Like I used to love Bethesda, but
See, I don't know much about that, and to be honest,
it
what
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's corporate. It's like I would say political, and it's like I all I know is that my love for Bethesda has just slowly died over the years, and
uh,
my house is covered in Bethesda products, not
but
games, just like
and whenever you pass them, you just shed a tear.
well,
So whenever you like, so when you're walking through your house, you're basically just crying.
look, dude, I've got a T51 Bethesda, the helmet. I bought that, and
See, I was gonna get that, but then it was
nah, it's
like,
rubbish, man. You know what? Like in comparison to the Stormtrooper helmet I've got, the Stormtrooper helmet looks so good in my space.
oh no, no,
But
I saw it in EB Games. I'm like, oh, that looks really cool. But then I looked at the price. I'm like, no, thank you. And then I moved
well,
off.
I bought it. I bought it on eBay secondhand, so I bought it a lot cheaper. But it just is cheaper than and less refined than the Stormtrooper helmet. Every single person that comes into my space goes, "Whoa, is that a Stormtrooper helmet?" Not one single person has looked at that.
I gone,
That,
whoa, is that a
that stuff.
T51 helmet?
Yeah, exactly. And and I did have a model that was over, and she put it on her head, and she wanted me to take a photo of her with the
T51.
T51B helmet on, and I just looked at her, and it's twice as big as the Stormtrooper helmet. So she just looked ridiculous. And I took a photo and I'm never going to publish it because it just
Why
looks silly.
not? That looks, yeah, exactly. Even more.
No, well, at least a girl puts on a Stormtrooper helmet. She can still look sexy and funny. Whereas that Fallout helmet is just, it's too big. It's taking up too much room in my house. I can understand why the person sold it now. I might sell it. I'll put in a toilet.
This
So,
belongs in here because it's
yeah.
shit.
You know, there's a metal band called Tool. Or they're not around anymore. But
No, I am aware
you
of
know
them.
Tool, and
My friend was like, "Hey, listen to him. I'm not a fan." I
yeah,
think I
they're
think
awesome.
he linked me a song that was literally called Hawk. It had the
Uh-huh,
name,
okay.
had the title Hawk in it, and I listened to it. I was just like, I don't really like this.
You know, yeah, I fucking loved them when I was younger. But uh, I saw Henry Rollins when he came out to Australia to do some spoken word, and he said like he was invited to hang out with Tool for a day, and then halfway just through them doing a jam session, he said, "Oh, guys, can I use your toilet?" And they're downstairs in the basement, and he's gone to the toilet and he's like flicking around, looking around for the fucking light switch. He flicks it on, and all of Tool's gold awards that are all framed with the gold CDs and all that, all the awards they've been given at award shows were like lining the toilet, and there's shit and piss all over them.
Ugh.
I just thought that was super cool. They don't give a fuck about awards. we're gonna shove them in a toilet.
Okay. Nah. I get the humor towards it, but that's gross.
It's just dirty, right? They're just like fucking. They probably never turn that light switch on. Just go in there and just aim sort of in that direction.
From what the sound is, you'd literally have to be like, okay, 3, 2, 1.
Take a breath. Go. Oh, that's what Africa was like last year. Okay, we're getting off topic, but fuck. Okay.
That's
Anyway,
sort of what we do, though.
yeah. No. Look. I think yeah. I don't know. Like, it's getting to a point with games now where I won't lie. I spent 2 hours playing Fallout 76 a couple of days ago, and there were moments in it, man. Like, I was just like, I was loving some moments where the weather was right and it
And
was
you were just missing
beautiful.
me and Jace, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. Well, I do miss playing games with each other for sure. For sure. Like, it's not the same.
Just buy Phasmophobia then.
Oh, it's. But
No, I actually do want to play now, because to me Phasmophobia is a casual game, because I think if you play that,
sure.
because since you're just hunting the ghost, and you're doing
Yeah.
that just continuously,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's different ghosts,
Mhm.
but to me it's going to be a case of, if you play that for like hours on end,
Yeah.
you're probably going to get
You'll
bored of it really quick.
burn
But
out, yeah.
no, I actually do want to play like a game that I can maybe sink my teeth into
Yep.
with you guys, but
Yep.
because obviously you brought up Destiny too.
Well, Joker did first.
Yeah, but
Mm.
yeah, but that was like ages ago. But you brought it up very recently, and I
Mhm.
just, and yeah, I kind of do, but at the same time, it's just like nah,
Mm.
because I'd literally be going into it first, because we'd obviously be using our previous characters. We wouldn't just be starting
Yeah, we're
over.
really far behind now, you and I. Yeah.
And well, me more than you, of course.
Mm.
I'd be doing dailies, bounties, having to like
See,
gather
do you think we
builds
have
and
to though?
everything.
I don't think we have to.
And
Like,
then, and
what
yeah,
if we
but
what
yeah,
if we
but
take a different mindset and just be like Kirker? You remember Kirker, the guy who's like one of the Sherpas in the big clan, and
no,
all he does is
I wasn't.
raids. Oh,
Remember,
you
I
weren't
wasn't a
part of that?
part of the clan.
Okay, well, this guy is one of the main Sherpas, and in my opinion, the best Sherpa in that entire clan. That he guides you through finishing raids from start to end, and he just tells you exactly what to do, when to do it, and if you follow his instructions, we'll finish this raid. And his character is really low light. It hasn't got the best gear because he refuses to play that catch up, grindy element of the game. All he wants to do is raid.
Yeah, see, if it was like that, I could definitely get, because I enjoyed playing the dungeons, but
That's
and
what I mean. And you don't need to be at the highest light level and have the best weapons and stuff to do those at all.
yeah,
So I think I might go into it again with the mindset of fuck being like at the highest gear score you could possibly be right now. Fuck that shit. I'm just gonna have fun with it.
yeah,
Be more
maybe
of a casual gamer, and
casual. Yeah, okay. If we're doing that, yeah,
that's
count
what
me
I'm
in.
thinking. And get Jace back into it, get Joker, and you know, and every now and then we'll do some raids with Sam and friends. So um, that's what I'm thinking. Honestly, I am not interested in
Yeah,
doing the
but
bounty grind
yeah,
and
no, because
having the
when
highest
you
gear score, everything.
because when you were saying you were going back into Destiny, I was just
Yeah.
like, okay, well, are you going to be getting the season pass, or are you going to be getting the new DLC?
Well, the
Because
new DLC is tempting, right? Because at least there'll be new content. If I'm going to get back into it,
the new DLC is tempting for me, because it
yeah,
actually looks really cool.
yeah, it looks
It
cool
actually,
too.
it looks like it, and it adds a lot to it.
Well, it's
But
got a darker vibe too.
to me the draw, it's, yeah, it's got a darker, colder vibe to it. It looks really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But to me the biggest drawback was just the fact that the price, and I was just like,
$100, yeah,
oh, yeah, it depends on which one you're getting.
$100.
Because I'm pretty sure it's between 90 to 120, I'd say, or 110.
Yeah.
But to me, it was just a big thing of the fact that I was just like,
Well, I can afford it, but it's like, am
I
I
can,
going to play it a couple of times and
yeah,
then
no,
like
no,
drop it?
I can afford it, but it's just a case of the fact that I was just like, I mean, Destiny wasn't exactly something that I got.
Yeah, you weren't crazy into it, no.
Oh, at the start I was, because I definitely felt a sense of pride when it was just like when we did that raid chest thing, and it
Mhm.
was like
That
you're
was
the
fun.
only one, that can make it across the thing. I was just like,
Yeah,
I
that was
felt
cool.
really good about myself. I was just like, oh, that's pretty cool. I was just
Yeah,
like,
that was cool. Yeah.
but then obviously it came to the point where it's just like we don't do this anymore because it's pretty shit. I was just like, yeah, it's
Well, the loot was
understandable.
shit. Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's
But
right.
I was just like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Because
Ah.
I'd literally from time to time literally just come on, do it, and
Mhm.
then because I remember as well. In fact, I remember feeling happy when we get to the puzzle thing and I just start doing it, and
Yeah.
you'd be
Yeah.
like, hold on, I'll grab the thing, and oh, you're already doing it. How do you remember this stuff? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like easy to remember.
Yeah. That's good teamwork. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But yeah. Yeah, well let's just see, man. Like let's just don't have to commit or nothing, and when it
I'd
comes
say
out,
I'd say let's just install the game, play it tomorrow.
yeah. Yeah,
And
I wouldn't mind going straight into it.
I mean Phasmophobia.
Oh my god, I'm just looking to the right of me is a whole stack of bills I haven't opened, but yeah, I should not look at that. Dude, okay, well, let's wrap it up. I mean, it wasn't hardcore in depth about any particular games, but
No, I'd say this is sort of a lighter episode, but
mm,
I'd say it's interesting because we reached a milestone with
what
releasing
milestone?
episode. We released episode 10.
Is this episode 10?
No, this is episode 11.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
Um,
it's not like a massive big milestone or anything like that with the episode 10 thing. But I was just like, oh, cool. We sort of just came to that sort of milestone.
yeah. Well, we might split the channel off from Zen at some point too. We'll see. You know, I'm pretty easy right now, and just let it just be out there and see what happens.
Yeah.
But I think if we were to get more serious, we probably should split it off. Um, but yeah, like I said, we'll just take it as it comes. Oh my god, I've got
Possible.
some mail here for my next door neighbor. I hate that. How come they shouldn't get this shit wrong?
Just if it's a credit card, just open it up and just be like, yeah, sure, it's mine.
Thing is, it's been sitting here for months because I never opened my mail, so I can drop it in the
That's
letterbox.
not a good thing.
Yeah, I'm not good like that.
Are you gonna like drop it in their mail and all you'll hear from next door is, I've been fucking waiting for this for
Yeah,
ages.
no, I just got to do it when they're not looking. Yeah, but I just hope some of my mail doesn't. Oh, you know what happened the other day? Uber Eats dropped off spaghetti bolognese and some Italian food that I ordered to my next door neighbor. And the thing is, I could hear the scooter, so I ran out because I didn't hear a doorbell.
Yeah.
So I fucking ran out and I yelled out, Uber Eats. And my next door neighbor was just shutting the door and he had the order in his hand.
Oh, you can't.
He was about to fucking eat my food, bro. I caught him in the act and he goes, he goes, yeah, wrong door. And I'm just like, gotcha. Gotcha. You were about to eat my fucking dinner. That was funny, man. Sprung like a mattress. Anyway. All right, bro. Cheers. I'll catch you online. Hopefully we will give Destiny a go and see how that goes.
We'll outro this properly. Peoples of
Yeah.
the internet, thank you for watching this episode of Geeked Out. I hope you liked it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. In fact, like your Zen podcast, we could do a Q&A section, even though we'll probably get like one question. But
Yeah, we could use that. I found that
I think
online software that does it, so no problems. We can try it.
I think that'd just be interesting. So, anyways, yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Check out Zen's podcast; they are really cool.
Check out Hawks. I'll
Yeah,
leave it in the description below. You need to do
and
more rambles, by the way.
I do, yes. And I was going to do it like your Monday morning rants instead of just being like hyper focused on one. I'll
Yeah,
just
very
go
good.
over a few topics. But anyways, we will catch you guys next time. Nipples out.
Nipples out.